Wanted to give you a quick update. I am headed to Camden, Tennessee to check something off my bucket list. I will be attending the Way of the Pistol at Tactical Response with Yeager and his crew. I don't know if Yeager's going to be there, but his crew. And going down a day early. Class starts tomorrow. I'm going down early Friday morning to stop by SOE, Special Operations Equipment. Maybe meet John Willis and his crew. I need to get a belt and probably a micro rig. I've had my eye on that for a while. But I'm going to try to give some updates as the class goes on, give some daily updates on things that I liked about the class or whatever. So hopefully you'll tune in for that. But I also wanted to chat a bit about something that happened a couple weeks ago. I had a conversation with a couple of my comrades from work. They're both, neither one of them are gun guys. They're both good guys, but they're not gun guys. They have been raised around guns. They have guns, but they view them really as just a hunting tool, and it stops there for them. It doesn't go any further than that. Conversation turns to the Second Amendment, and one of the guys says, well, you know, I don't see any reason why anybody would need an AR-15. And I said, well, let's talk about that. And so in my mind, I'm running through the conversations that I can have, right? So how do I lead off with this? And I can say, oh, well, you know, well-armed populace is the last stand against tyranny. I can say that it's my God-given right to defend myself via any means necessary. Talk about the Constitution, you know, talk about the impacts of an unarmed society. All of those things are topics that have been discussed ad nauseum, right? And so I said, you know, really what I want to do is I want to talk a little bit about why it's important to me. So, you know, he says, you know, you shouldn't, people don't need machine guns. And I'm like, well, need, okay. And I see where you're going with your statement. But I'm a responsible gun owner. And a responsible gun owner is not going to suddenly get a machine gun in their hands and go crazy. So, sure, if there's a responsible gun owner, give him a machine gun. What's it matter? But there are plenty of people out there who shouldn't own any firearms of any sort, just like there's people out there who shouldn't have a driver's license, people out there who shouldn't be parents, because they're just not responsible people. But more than that, the reason that I go to training, the reason that I have guns, the reason that I carry a gun, the reason that I keep guns in my vehicle when I'm driving or when I'm traveling, the reason I have a get-home bag, is that it's my job. So it's not what I do for a living, right? I design software applications for a living, but this is my real job. My real job is to stand in the gap. There are plenty of people like me. I'm not unique, but there are plenty of people like me who, excuse me, run to the sound of trouble because they want to be the ones. They have this internal mechanism that says, I'm going to stand in the gap and I'm going to protect you. I don't know you, or you know, maybe they are loved. I mean, I do know you, but even if not, I may not know you. I may not know who you are. I may not know your story. I may not even agree with you, but I'm the guy that's going to stand in the gap, the guy or the girl. There are plenty of societies throughout history that have done that. The Vikings, the Spartans have, you know, developed segments of their society that were trained to do that. And that's a wonderful thing, because without them, society collapses, right? I don't remember who said this, but somebody said it only takes one generation without people of a warrior mindset for that society to fall apart. It is because there are good men and women who are willing to stand in harm's way. There are good people out there willing to do bad deeds on your behalf. That's what keeps people safe at night. That's what allows the population to be blissfully ignorant of everything else that goes on in the world, because there are sheepdogs on the wall. There are people who are watching out for their behalf. And that is something I'm called to do. Now, not everybody's called to do it, and that's fine. Just like not everybody's called to be a teacher, or preacher, or doctor. But this is my call. And so I go to training, I carry a gun, I, you know, worry about my EDC, You know, do I have my flashlight? Do I have my tactical pen that I can, you know, stab you in the forehead with? You know, do I have my pocket knife? Do I have, you know, where's my blaster? Where's my extra mags? Where's my this? Where's my that? And I do those things intentionally because I want to be the guy that is able to stand in the way when something goes south. I don't want my wife, I don't want my kids, I don't want my friends to find themselves in a situation where they're at risk and I'm there and I could have done something to prevent it, but I didn't. So I trained myself to stand in the gap. It's why I joined the military. It's why I went into the Marines. It's why I've always carried a gun, even back before it was cool. So, you know, when we talk about those kinds of things, irresponsible people are going to behave irresponsibly. They're going to do that with a car. They're going to do that with their money. They're going to do that with their family. They're going to do it with a firearm. You know, and as far as crazy people go, crazy people with guns, that's really not an issue. I mean, if you're crazy and you're hell-bent on killing a bunch of people, you're going to find a way whether you got a gun or not. I mean, Timothy McVeigh blew up Oklahoma City and no shots were fired. So the real question is personal responsibility. I feel responsible on a personal level to stand in the gap. That's what I do. That's my job. Not everybody does feel that way, and that's fine. They don't have to feel that way, but I do. And so I need to be able to stand in the gap, and I need to be able to train myself to do so. That's why I feel that, you know, there are people out there who should be able to do these things. There are people out there who should be able to have a machine gun because they're responsible. And they're not going to do anything irresponsible with it. I know a guy that has a cannon. Nobody bats an eye at that because he's responsible with it. But anyway, that was the gist of that. I'll try to keep you guys updated on the stuff at Tactical Response and SOE as I go along. And hopefully you guys will tune in. Thanks a bunch, and we'll talk to you later. See ya.